Good evening, I'm Douglas Elliott, and this is TVS Nightline. Let's begin with a top story. After much deliberation, the government party Sarawak GPS prefers to hold the state election now, taking into account of the coming monsoon season early next year and the possible emergence of new COVID-19 variants. Such decision was reached after present consultations with the relevant authorities, while denying that such period will called in fear of young voters, as purported by the opposition leaders.
UGA said the monsoon season is expected to be between January and February next year, and holding an election during the rainy season will be difficult, especially if flooding were to happen. He added the state election too could not wait for the COVID-19 situation in the state to improve. On November 5, Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg said the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly has been dissolved effective November 3, thus paving the way for a state election. Abang Johari said the dissolution was in compliance with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah's consent to revoke the proclamation of emergency for Sarawak on the same date.
The Election Commission, EC, will be imposing the same SOPs for both GPS and the opposition parties for the upcoming state elections. And although yet to be announced, it is likely that the same election SOPs used in Malacca will be practiced in Sarawak's state election. And this was stated by Parti Pusaka Bumi Putra Bersatu or PBB Vice President Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah.
Well, jawapan saya kepada Chong, saya percaya SPR tidak ada dua set SOP dan undang-undang untuk parti GPS dan juga untuk pembangkang. Apa yang telah ditetapkan untuk GPS juga ditetapkan untuk parti pembangkang. There is no differences.
Karim, who is also the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, said even though the SOPs for the Sarawak state election have not been announced, the government will adhere to any alternative method that is safe to ensure that candidates are able to communicate with the people constantly.
Yang kita tahu, walaupun ia belum dimaklumkan lagi, tapi kalau kita lihat daripada apa yang berlaku di PRN Melaka, yang mana Kementerian Kesihatan telah menetapkan SOP tertentu yang kemungkinan akan diguna pakai juga di PRN Negeri Sarawak nanti. Antaranya adalah tidak boleh berkempen rumah ke rumah, tidak boleh mengadakan rally. SOP itu hanya untuk mereka, SOP itu untuk dua belah pihak. Kami pun tidak boleh. I wish I can go in a rally, pergi ke Dewan Masyarakat ataupun pergi ke masjid ataupun di halayak ramai untuk berucap. Kami pun tidak dapat ruang seperti itu untuk berkempen. Pergi ke rumah-rumah. Sekarang kita pun mencari macam mana hendak berhubung dengan pengundi-pengundi dalam kawasan-kawasan kita. That's why I say there's no two sets of rules, one for them and one for us. We are all the same.
At the same time, when asked about who would fill the vacant post of Deputy Chief Minister after the demise of the late Tan Sri Dr. James Jimut Masing, the State Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture said the Sarawak government has yet to reach the discussion stage as a sign of respect during the mourning period.
Well, I think we have not reached that stage yet. I think the family is still in mourning. After the election, I think Right Honourable Chief Minister will know who and who should be the Deputy Chief Minister, or who and who will be holding position as ministers. And of course, Right Honourable Chief Minister will discuss with all the component parties.
Karim added that currently the state government is focusing its strategy on winning the upcoming 12th state election, and he hopes that the voters would continue to give their mandate to the current ruling coalition to serve them for the next 5 years.
At the moment, our focus is more towards winning the election, winning it handsomely, and I believe that we will win handsomely this time. We do hope that the people of Sarawak, the voters, will give us the mandate.
A total of 200 individuals in Mambong have received coffee seedlings in an effort to establish Mambong as part of the state's coffee belt. The state government has approved a total of 1 million ringgit for the project to be channeled to farmers from Persatuan Bibia, which consists of 11 villages.
Kawasan ini berpotensi untuk menjadi suatu kawasan yang mengeluarkan kopi yang besar pada masa akan datang. Kita menggalakkan peserta-peserta di sini untuk menanam kopi. Apabila kita menyerahkan kopi itu, setiap peserta akan menanam secara sendiri mengikut kemampuan mereka dan mengikut tanah-tanah mereka. Tapi kami menggalakkan supaya mereka menanam kopi ini secara berkelompok. Dan kalau ada berkelompok, maka senang bagi kita untuk mengadakan infrastruktur pertanian seperti jalan pertanian dan juga kawasan-kawasan yang menuju ke kebun-kebun kecil ini.
Jerip also added that a center will be established to collect and to package whilst marketing the coffee at the same time.
Dan kami sudah menyediakan tempat untuk mengumpul dan membeli kopi ini melalui program yang kita panggilkan Coffee Collection Center, CPC. Coffee Collection and Packaging Center. Maknanya kita akan mengadakan suatu tempat di kawasan Bayur, iaitu Rural Growth Center, dan kita akan mengadakan suatu tapak. Sebenarnya tapak sudah disediakan. Saya rasa pun sudah diluluskan untuk pembinaan collection center ini. Dengan adanya collection center itu, maka orang kampung apabila dia ambil dia punya biji kopi, mereka dapat menjual kopi ini kepada Coffee Collection Center. Dan ini cara mereka untuk menjanakan ekonomi di luar bandar.
Each recipient will receive a maximum of 5,000 ringgit worth of tools, including 638 coffee seedlings, knapsack sprayers, fertilizer, and bush cutters.
Several areas in Bintangor and Sarike were flooded following the high tide phenomenon, causing the water from the Rajang River to overflow at several villages.
Fenomena ini kebiasaannya berlaku sekitar 2 hingga 3 jam dan mengikut pemantauan yang dibuat oleh pasukan bomba daripada Balai Bomba di Bintangor, kedalaman yang paling tinggi yang dicatatkan adalah sedalam 2 kaki ataupun 0.5 meter daripada paras jalan, dan kebanyakan kawasan di sekitar Pekan Bintangor dan beberapa buah kampung, iaitu sebanyak lebih kurang 7 kawasan telah dinaiki air.
According to Bintangor Fire and Rescue Chief Nicholas Belulin, the situation is expected to last until the end of the month. Nonetheless, he assures that the situation is under control and that the said phenomenon is expected to last briefly. Meanwhile, Nicholas said the Bomba department will increase their monitoring in preparation for early evacuation should something untoward were to happen. According to Bomba, there are 22 areas in Bintangor listed as flood-prone areas.
The Vessel Mall at KPLB, which will be completed in a period of 2 to 3 months, will enable rural entrepreneurs to trade their goods physically and online. This will open a bigger market for locally produced products such as the Adan rice, smoked Tahai fish, mozzarella cheese made from buffalo milk, to even the Lun Bawang handicrafts.
Desa Mall di Lawas. Jadi ini tempat perniagaan di mana produk-produk kampung di seluruh daerah Lawas ini akan dapat dikumpul untuk tujuan marketing lah. Oh ya, pelbagai produk-produk yang dihasilkan di seluruh daerah Lawas ini, seperti ikan salainya, ikan tahainya, ikan produk di sini dihasilkan beras yang dikenali sekarang sebagai beras Bario. Tetapi di daerah Lawas ini kita kenali dia sebagai beras adan.
Datuk Henry Sum Agong said currently the Lawas District Council is surveying different suitable locations, including the Lawas Bus Terminal, which is accessible by many.
Dengan kemudahan yang disediakan nanti, maka dapatlah petani-petani kita, fishermen mengumpulkan hasil di sini ataupun dibeli dan dijual. Dan dengan itu dapat meningkatkan ekonomi kampung.
Previously, the Ministry of Rural Development KPLB have planned to establish a total of 14 decimalls throughout the country, including one in Lawas, to empower and market rural products internationally. Recently, during his visit to Kampung Punang Baru, he announced the Tahai Fish Processing Project will be initiated soon. The project is implemented under the ministry's Desa Lestari program, consisting of various components, including the construction of 11 centralized smoking houses, tools purchasing, maintenance, and product marketing process. The project is expected to provide job opportunities for more than 500 villagers in the village.
Mobile banks have benefited many of those who live in remote areas, especially in Sabah and Sarawak. In Sungai Asap, Belaga alone, about 30,000 people who benefited from the Bank Simpanan Nasional BSN mobile bank, which was launched in May. However, some would rather have a bank premise instead.
According to Daisy Igang, the long queue and the limited operational time for these mobile banks have resulted in inconvenience amongst the people, especially for the senior citizen.
Tapi apa yang saya lihat, semasa bank bergerak ini datang, jadi penduduk di Sungai Asap ini dah berbaris panjang. Ada pengalaman saya memang kadang kena panas, kena hujan, jadi terpaksa berbaris panjang menunggu giliran nak pergi. Dan masa juga ditetapkan. Mereka sampai mungkin jam 9, jadi habis jam 3. Jadi memandangkan perkara yang seperti ini, jadi menyukarkan kita untuk membuat pengurusan. Sebab barisan masih panjang, masa sudah habis. Jadi oleh itu saya mohonlah kepada pihak kerajaan supaya diadakan bangunan bank tetap di Sungai Asap. Saya memang sangat sokong. Sebab bila kita ada pengurusan dari segi keuangan akaun lebih-lebih lagi kepada warga emas, jadi senang untuk memudahkan mereka pergi di tempat yang terdekat. Jadi itulah harapan saya lah sebagai penduduk Sungai Asap.
Saya Wilson Kudang, wakil dari penduduk Sungai Asap, amat bersyukur kerana adanya perkhidmatan bank bergerak. Perkhidmatan bank bergerak ini sangat membantu kami di sini untuk mengeluarkan uang, mengirim uang, dan sebagainya. Tetapi masa bank bergerak ini sangat terhad dan barisan juga panjang menyebabkan orang ramai menunggu lama. Harapan saya di masa akan datang perlunya ada sebuah bank yang kekal berada di Sungai Asap, supaya orang ramai dapat berurusan pada bila-bila masa.
Seorang pelajar dari Sungai Asap berharap agar pihak Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak akan membantu untuk membuka satu cawangan bank di sekitar Sungai Asap ini. Hal ini untuk memudahkan agar penduduk di sekitar ini dapat berurusan dengan pihak bank dari segi kewangan mereka.
ถ้าหากว่านางไม่ได้เป็นผู้สั่งการมนต์กฤษณากาลีก็มิอาจทำลายนางได้
Ket Surang mengalami kecelakaan yang mengakibatkan dirinya kembali ke era sekitar 300 tahun lalu. Namun dirinya bertukar tubuh sebagai Karaket, seorang wanita jahat yang terkenal. Saksikan kesudahannya dalam Love Destiny setiap Isnin hingga Khamis 8.45 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Akan berfikir items happy kerana abang tandang menua pekeng korban tinggal mereka yang menghasilkan terutama di madah kecaranya and you can see salam sejahtera warnailah hidupmu tampilkanlah bakat baru Sarawak pasti maju menginspirasi duniamu.
Kapan? Lagi ni. Hei! Kau tak menagih lagi ya? Kau fahal? Dia tunggu kat gaduh. Kau fahal? Kau belum cek pasal Kau tu penagih je lah.
Welcome back. Sarawak added 460 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday, with 454 cases under categories 1 and 2, while 6 others are under categories 3, 4 and 5.
According to the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee, SDMC, this brings the overall tally in the state to 244,576 cases thus far. SDMC also recorded 4 new fatalities between November 5 and November 6, a significant decrease in the number of COVID-19 related deaths. All fatalities involve patients between 46 to 92 years old with comorbidities. Additionally, no new COVID-19 clusters were reported today, and no new localities have been placed under the Enhanced Movement Control Order, EMCO.
The Ministry of Health, MOH, and the Institute for Clinical Research, ICR Malaysia, plans to initiate a clinical research on the effectiveness of ivermectin as preventive treatment for COVID-19 close contacts. The research will be initiated as early as next month.
According to the ICR director, Dr. Kalairasu Periasamy, the research is known as the randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial of ivermectin for post-exposure prophylaxis for COVID-19 infection among close contacts, or ICPEP. The study will involve 300 individuals who are above 18 years old and are currently a close contact of a COVID-19 patient. The clinical research will be conducted in 4 chosen states, which will involve 10 health facilities and several districts of Kedah, Perak, Penang, and Perlis. Dr. Kalairasu, however, said that they are still awaiting approval from the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA, to undertake the research. Previously, MOH have conducted a study to observe the effectiveness of ivermectin on 500 high-risk COVID-19 patients. Conclusively, ivermectin is not suitable and was not included in the COVID-19 treatment guidelines, as it did not decrease any severe infections in the said patients.
Starting this year, the National Family Month will now be called Malaysian Family Month. Celebrated in November, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the event would be a platform to strengthen family ties and embrace the spirit of inclusion among the Malaysian family.
Speaking at the launch of the celebration today, Ismail Sabri said it aims to ensure the prosperity and unity of a large family. Organised by the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, he said the celebration could be held at the national level with the cooperation of government agencies as an annual event to strengthen the Malaysian family well-being. He hoped that others, such as the private sector and the community, would also participate in the family well-being program. Earlier, Ismail Sabri had launched the concept of the Malaysian family, which is based on the values of inclusion, togetherness and gratitude, in his inaugural speech after being appointed as the 9th Prime Minister on August 22.
The change of government official cars from Proton Perdana to Toyota Velfire is a matter of cost saving and one that would result in reduced payments in the long run.
According to a statement issued by the Ministry of Finance today, the monthly payment for a Toyota Velfire 2.5-litre was 4,851 ringgit and 61 cents compared to 4,854 ringgit 41 cents for a Proton Perdana 2.4 Premium. The government's decision to switch models for ministers' official cars, a replacement process that already began since April, had recently gone viral on social media. The Finance Ministry noted that the switch was also due to Proton ending the production of Proton Perdana 2.4 Premium in 2014. It added that the proposal to switch models was made by the previous government but only implemented this year. The ministry added that some of the cars in question had reached 6 years of age, although the replacement of the vehicles are scheduled for a 4-year period.
In sports development, no punishment will be taken against Muhammad Ziad Zulkifli and his coach following the disqualification at the recent Tokyo Olympics, which cost him a gold medal and a new world record. The Malaysian Para-Athletics Association (POPM) said it has no intention of pursuing the matter further when evidence was announced by the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
The evidence formed by the Internal Investigation Committee provided closure to Muhammad Ziad and his coach, Muhammad Faizal's punctuality controversy, where both individuals failed to show proof that they had arrived at the call room on time. POPM stated that they will constantly remind team managers as well as coaches and athletes to take note of the date and registration time before any event begins. Ziad was denied gold in the F20 intellectual disability shot put event during the Tokyo Paralympics. The 31-year-old was classified did not start or DNS after the Ukraine team protested and claimed that Ziad was late coming to the call room prior to the event. Currently, Ukraine thrower Maxim Koval holds the world record that was previously set by Ziad with a throw of 17.34 meters.
Pilihan Raya Negeri Sarawak ke-12, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, persembahan menarik serta informasi tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berita terkini dan komprehensif. Laporan wartawan di lokasi.
Laporan Odlin Katadi. Saya Prisla John.
Saya Kaizari Afindi.
Laporan Salasa Safia.
Saya Lukman Muhammad.
Laporan daripada saya Jessica Chung.
Ruben Gomez. Saya Steve Dawi. I'm Haris Zainuddin.
Untuk TVS. Untuk TVS.
Sarawak Decides hanya di TVS saluran 122 mulai Isnin.
Pilihan Raya Negeri Sarawak ke-12, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data,
daripada satu
analisis, berita dan informasi terkini tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Hanya dalam Sarawak Decides di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, police in Houston, where at least 8 people died and hundreds injured during the opening night of a music festival, say they have launched a criminal investigation into the incident that will involve both the Homicide and Narcotics Division.
About 300 people were treated for injuries, including 11 taken to hospitals suffering from cardiac arrest.
This is now a criminal investigation that's going to involve our Homicide Division as well as narcotics, and we're going to get down to the bottom of it.
Based on our latest information, 8 people are reported dead from the event last night. In terms of their ages, one is 14, one is 16, 2 are 21 years of age, 2 are 23, 1 is 27, and 1 remains unknown at this time.
Attendees who escaped said crowds surging forward as the main performer took to the stage at the festival, which led to chaos and crushed bodies at the outdoor concert. A crowd of 50,000 showed up for the 2-day event, while the second day of the festival has been cancelled.
Snowfall sweeps parts of China over the weekend, 23 days early than normal years, causing temperature to drop more than 10 Celsius degrees in some places. In capital Beijing, snow began to fall late on Saturday afternoon and continues on Sunday, prompting officials to issue the winter's first snowstorm orange alert.
Several districts such as Yangqing, Changping, Meiyun and Fangshan, where the snow reached a depth between 10 to 30 centimeters. Snow has also led to temperature drops of more than 10 Celsius degrees in some areas. Beginning from Saturday night, the traffic department has dispatched vehicles to clear ice and snow on the roads. Though the snowy weather has affected people's commuting to some extent, it is welcome in North China's Chongli for creating favorable conditions for holding the upcoming 2022 Winter Olympics event next February. Snow also hit some areas in northeast China's Liaoning province, with the authorities issuing a yellow warning of snow, blue warning of high winds and yellow warning of icy roads. The cold snap, which could increase the risk of flu, comes just as more than 20 cities in northern China reported COVID-19 cases and sporadic outbreaks in Chongqing and the provinces of Sichuan and Yunnan since mid-October.
Between the striking sand formations and elaborate rocks of Chile's Atacama Desert, an ancient trove of fossilized treasures are emerging from the ground. Once largely submerged beneath the Pacific Ocean, this desert is now the world's most arid and the perfect preservation site for its ancient remains.
Dubbed the desert graveyard for fossils, the area has seen species that once roamed the Earth millions of years ago resurface. Its prize find is the massive jaw of the megalodon shark species, one of the largest predators to have ever lived.
Hemos encontrado distintos tipos de vertebrados y sin duda uno de los más llamativos es un pez maravillosamente grande que es un tiburón, el megalodón, famoso por la película de Hollywood, y acá en Atacama, en Chile, en Bahía Inglesa, es uno de los lugares en el mundo donde más se han encontrado sus dientes y probablemente además donde está en mayor tamaño. ¿De qué estamos hablando? De tiburones que llegan a medir 16 metros de largo, que probablemente depredaban ballenas y que cada vez que cerraban la boca eran capaces de sacar cientos de kilos de carne de cada ballena.
Following investigations by the likes of Charles Darwin in the 19th century, the Atacama lost favor with paleontologists. A campaign for its preservation gathered pace in the late 20th century after outrage over mining operations that reportedly ground fossils to extract phosphates. This archaeological area at Bahía Inglesa covers 2,500 hectares and is now a protected site.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. For the latest development, visit our website TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. I'm Douglas Elliott. Have a good week ahead.
Pilihan Raya Negeri Sarawak ke-12, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, persembahan menarik serta informasi tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berita terkini dan komprehensif. Laporan wartawan di lokasi.
Laporan Odlin Ketedi. Saya Priscilla Chon.
Saya Karizali Afindi.
Laporan Salasa Safian.
Saya Lukman Muhammad.
Laporan daripada saya Jessica Chun.
Ruben Gomez. Saya Studawi. I'm Haris Zainuddin.
Untuk TVS. Untuk TVS.
Sarawak Decides hanya di TVS saluran 122.